Where did their belief come from? But if you are aware that Mr. Manalo was once
a minister
of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and he was excommunicated. We have a certain document that proves that he was excommunicated because of something which I do not want anymore to touch, brothers and sisters. After all, we are not after the person of any man. We are after the principle and the teachings that we have to really know in relation with salvation in the Scriptures. We do not care what Mr. Manalo did while he was excommunicated in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. But we know that he was a minister of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So he followed suit to the belief of the Seventh-day Adventist Church that the church was apostatized. It was destroyed. It had vanished away from the face of the earth. So here comes now Mrs. Ellen G. White establishing a church in the United States of America, which they call the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The same thing happened with Mr. Manalo when he was already decided, when he decided for himself to establish his own church. They are vocal also that there is really a reestablishment that took place in the Philippines. You say, Sister Luz, the word reestablishment, meaning if you are going to reestablish something, it is totally down.
Yes.
It is not anymore in existence. That's why you have to reestablish it.
Yes.
That is a claim of the Iglesia ni Manalo that believes that the church was completely destroyed, Sister Luz. Contrary to what our Lord Jesus Christ have guaranteed when He said, upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. You see, there is an assurance of the existence of the church. After our Lord Jesus Christ will again build it in Jerusalem, He said that the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. But Mr. Manalo did not believe on this pronouncement. He was convinced that by the Seventh-day Adventist Church that the church will be apostatized, completely destroyed, and will vanish away from the face of the earth. That's why in their pasugo, they say that the church was completely completely destroyed. That's why there is a need for the reestablishment. Let us have that pasugo which says that...
this one is an editor's reply. Pasugo of November 2001. Volume 53, number 11. And what was written? Editor's reply. It is true that Brother Felix Y. Manalo was not baptized into the Church of Christ because no one was there immediately preceding his work to baptize him. Remember that the Church of Christ fell in the way of apostasy, and the emergence of the Church of Christ led by Brother Felix Y. Manalo is its restoration.
This is the pasugo of the Iglesia ni Manalo, that it is true, according to them, that Brother Felix Y. Manalo was not baptized into the Church of Christ because no one was there immediately preceding his work to baptize him. Remember that the Church of Christ fell in the way of apostasy, and the emergence of the Church of Christ led by Brother Felix Y. Manalo is its restoration. See that? How unbiblical are these claims? Why do I say that these are unbiblical claims? Because that says, remember that the Church of Christ fell in the way of apostasy. See? In direct defiance of what our Lord Jesus Christ have said in Matthew chapter 16, verse 18, that upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. They did not anymore give credit or credence to what our Lord Jesus Christ have assured upon building the church, that the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. They now assert that the church fell into apostasy. So it was destroyed.
Yes.
There, I even remember a publication of the Iglesia ni Manalo that says that not one disciple was left. All of them vanished away. This is a stupid claim of the Manalistas. Why do I say stupid claim? Because you see, if you understand the scriptures, the church is an entity made up of apostles, prophets,
yes.
teachers, evangelists, and government. Let us read that to prove that. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 28 says,
And God hath set some in the church, first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, after that miracles, then gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversities of tongues.
You see, Sister Luz, the church is made up of
So many.
apostles, prophets, thirdly, teachers, miracles, gift of healings, helps, governments, diversities of tongues, and what else? The head of the church is our Lord Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes, Brother Eli.
He is the head of the body, which is the church. Colossians 1:18. Now, to say that the church was completely apostatized, that the church fell in the way to apostasy, is stupid.
Yes, that's right.
It is biblically a gross misunderstanding of the scriptures, I say. Why? Because how can the gift of God, how can the government set by God, how can Jesus Christ, which is the head of the church, fall into apostasy?
Yes, it will not happen.
Please put that again on our screen, that
12:20.
pasugo. See that? Remember that the church of Christ fell in the way of apostasy. Imagine the church. When you say the church, you are speaking of the whole entity, including
That's right,
Christ,
that's right.
including the government set by God, including the miracles, gifts of tongue, etc. All that is in the church fell into in the way of apostasy. That is blasphemy against Christ. Will you say that Christ fell into apostasy? You see that? Remember that Christ is a vital part of the church. He is the
He's the
head of the
head.
church.
That's right.
When you say the church, it automatically includes Christ. So, when you say that the church fell in the way to apostasy, you mean Christ was a part
included.
of that apostasy. That is blasphemy against Christ. So, I say it is a stupid claim of the Iglesia ni Cristo ni Manalo, Sister.
Yes, Brother Eli.
Now, in order to meet the demands of the inquisitive minds of our listeners who are studying with us about the history of the true church in the scriptures, let us set these things clear, Sister Luz. The church was not apostatized.
Yes, it was not.
There are some members who have been apostatized. Let us read that. Not the church. Remember, not the church. Because there was a guarantee laid down by our Lord Jesus Christ that the church, that the gates of hell shall not prevail against the church. That is the recorded guarantee in Matthew chapter 16, verse 18. To say that the church fell into apostasy is stupidity. Sister. Let us clear these things. What are the prophecies of the scriptures about apostasy? Does it concern the church as a whole? Let us read 1 Timothy chapter 4, verses 1 up to 3.
It says, Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith.
Who will fall into apostasy, Sister Luz?
Some, Brother Eli,
Some shall depart from the faith. That it did not say that the church will depart from the faith for you to have that right to say that the church fell in the way of apostasy.
That's right.
That is completely